Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'd like to answer a question I've had recently about how to use my book, Quit Smoking and Be Happy, as a tool or a guide to help you along your quit smoking journey. I want to offer a few suggestions about how you may use this book, finding a way that works for you, and at the end of the video I'll talk just a little bit about how you can work with me one-to-one to get even more value from the book and really get your quit smoking journey nailed down. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who came to spend some time with me on the live stream this past Saturday. I look forward to these live streams all month long, and it's always a joy to get to chat with you, answer some of your questions, and just really engage with you. One of the questions that I had this past Saturday came from my friend Nevi, and she wanted to know, what is the best way to use Quit Smoking and Be Happy? When should I read it? What order? What do I do? And this isn't the first time that I've been asked this question. Some people want to know, Chris, is it like a plan or a strategy that I should apply when working through this book? Do I read Quit Smoking and Be Happy in its entirety before I quit, when I've started my quit? Chris, what do I do? And the honest answer is that there is no right or wrong way to read the book, honestly. Find a method that works for you. When I started writing this book, I thought a lot about the journey that we go on as we evolve from being smokers into non-smokers. And I divided the book into 5 sections, which, if you quit smoking at some point early on while you're reading this book, should correspond with where you're at on your journey. So it starts with talking about being prepared. It moves into dealing with cravings and withdrawals. Then we talk about things like sleep and anger and low mood. And then we talk about relapses, and then it's about life after smoking. So if you just read the book in order, hopefully you get some, if you get value from my videos, you get the same kind of value from this. But I'm aware, people, like I said, people want to know, okay, when do I start reading it, and is there a way that can work for me? And I have come up with a few suggestions and a kind of strategy or plan, which I'm going to share with you right now. So if you do want a strategy or some kind of action plan for using this book, this is what I hope may help you. The first thing that I want you to do is to set a quit date. I've talked before in the past that quit dates aren't always essential, because we can always just put them off, and the best time to quit smoking is actually now. But if you want to use this book, you may find it helpful to set a quit date a few days or even a week in advance. On the same day that you set a quit date, you may find it helpful to read something that actually isn't in the book. Originally, the first chapter of Quit Smoking and Be Happy was going to be a chapter called Preparing to Quit Smoking. And it includes things like, deciding on a method of quitting, getting stocked up on the things you need, getting the right mindset, and all that good stuff. I ended up not putting it in the book for reasons which, to be honest, I have no idea why I didn't put it in, but I did publish it online as an article. So on the same day that you set your quit date, go and read that article. And I will put it in the description below. I was reminded the other day that I said I'd put something in the description below last week and I didn't, so I'll do that as well. But this article will definitely be in there. So set your quit date, read Preparing to Quit Smoking. Then, in the days leading up to your quit date, read the first chapter the first section of this book, which is called Part 1, The Journey Begins. And in this section, we talk about, getting the right mindset. We talk about overcoming any fears or doubts or concerns that you may have. We talk about things that you may not have thought about that may occur. If you saw one of my very early videos called 4 Unexpected Things That Happened When I Quit Smoking, there is a version of that in the book, and also a reminder to take some time to take care of yourself. So in the days leading up to your quit date, read that first section. If this is your first time quitting smoking, that may be enough. However, if you have relapsed and this is a second, third, whatever attempt, I would also recommend that you skip ahead to section 4 and read the chapter on relapses and get to know a little bit about your relapse and how to overcome it. When talking about these two sections, and I keep using the word read, I would recommend that you don't just read the book, that you actively engage in it. I have included things like exercises to do, worksheets to complete, downloads to listen to, and I would strongly recommend that you engage and use those to your advantage. If you have the book, all those resources are free to you. You have those as well, and they are designed to strengthen your chances of a successful quit. So in chapter 1, there is sorry, I've got to check the contents. Remember what it's called? That's really embarrassing. In chapter 1, there is, a section on accessing your inner motivation, and I talk about the ideal self-visualization exercise. That is in there. There's a worksheet for it. Do the exercise to help you out. I will say this: if you only do one exercise and you have relapsed and you're starting again, read the chapter on the relapse recovery plan and do the relapse recovery plan. Again, you can get a worksheet for it. The links are all, if you get to the end of a chapter, each chapter has some resources which will include any downloads and stuff, and also a link to any videos I've made on this subject. If you are having a hard time accessing any of the resources that you want, send me an email to chris@cjstherapy.com and I will send those to you. So all that is to come before your quit date. From your quit date onwards, it doesn't matter if you start this before, it's totally fine, but from your quit date onwards, get into part 2 of the book, which is about cravings and withdrawals, because these are likely to be the first things that you encounter in those first few days, maybe first few weeks of your quit. In this section, there is the power of associations, NLP technique that I shared with you a couple of years ago that just makes cigarettes disgusting. We talk about dealing with physical withdrawals, dealing with cravings, dealing with anger, how to stop lashing out at loved ones, dealing with those psychological triggers, and finishing with something more positive on the joys of quitting smoking. Read that section in the early days of your quit because it is the most pertinent to that stage of the journey. And again, there are exercises, there are things that you can do and engage in, and I would strongly recommend that if you're going to get the most out of this book, that you engage with them. As your journey evolves, you may start to notice more things happening in your quit. You may start struggling to sleep. You may be permanently exhausted. You may have to, find that it's really difficult being around other people who smoke. You may find that it's really difficult having no one to support you on your journey. You may find that you've had a bereavement or a traumatic event that's really going to, interfere with your quit, which is where part 3 comes in. Part 3 is called Sleep and Other Problems. Originally, I was going to say to you, use part 3 as like a troubleshooter. So if you come up with, if there's a specific problem that you're dealing with, find it in in part 3 and take it on. But I was talking about this to someone yesterday, someone who's read the book, and they said, no, Chris, get them to read the whole chapter. And this was really a nice thing. They said there is so much good stuff in those pages that relates to other aspects and other problems. So even if you're not necessarily struggling with, having no support, there is still some good stuff in this section. So I'm going to say read the whole section through. But also you can refer back to it. This whole book is designed so that you can refer back easily to anything that's happening. So if it's a craving, you can go back to part 2. If it's, you've had a relapse dream and it's messing with your head, all that stuff is in section 3. Section 4 of the book is about relapses. And like I said, if you have relapsed already and you're gearing up for your next quit, read that section first, but then also come back to it later in your journey and strengthen your resolve and, get into the right mindset of avoiding those relapses. Part 4 includes chapters such as why do we relapse, 4 emergency relapse prevention techniques, the relapse recovery plan, which again, if you have relapse, use that. We'll talk about weight gain and overcoming it, dealing with depression and other issues like that to help you avoid that relapse or at least get back on track. And again, you can use that as a reference tool at any point that you need. As you get weeks and weeks into your quit, when you are getting to become a non-smoker, the last section of the book is called Life After Smoking. There's only 3 chapters in this. Dealing with a hard day without smoking, the 4 stages of quitting smoking, which is what I've been talking about this whole video, the 4 stages of being a smoker who wants to quit, someone who is quitting smoking, an ex-smoker, and then a non-smoker. And finally, the book ends with an important message. Really important message, and I won't spoil it for you, but what I will say is that if at any point on your journey you are really struggling and you're like, I shouldn't be feeling this bad right now, I'm not sure if I can do this, this is too much, go right to the end and read that important message. This was very simple. Like I said, at least I think I said at the beginning, there is no right or wrong way to use this book. If you don't follow that strategy, it doesn't matter. The book is designed so that you can use it in a way that works for you. But if you do want some kind of plan or strategy, I would say set a quit date. Set a quit date. Read that article, read The Journey Begins. If you've relapsed, read the relapse chapter, then quit smoking, read the craving and withdrawals, read Sleep and Other Problems, then relapses again. As you're going through the book, read the relapse chapter, whether you've quit or not, and then finally, Life After Smoking, and use that important message anytime you need to. But also, please engage with the book. I designed it so that it wasn't just me rambling at you, that you could get involved and take ownership of your quit and take control of your quit. These things work far better when we take control and we do things for ourselves. So use the ideal self exercise, use the relapse recovery plan, use the triggers and withdrawals thing. Use the designing your new normal exercise. And again, if you can't find, all the links to get those are in the book. If you can't find them, my email address is chris@cjstherapy.com and you can get them all from there. Finally, this seems like an appropriate place to talk just a little bit about the quit smoking support sessions that I offer and the program that I've been devising to help people start their quit and complete their quit successfully. A few months ago, I completed my training to become a certified smoking cessation practitioner here in the United Kingdom, and I also bring, my work as a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist and my counselling training into these support sessions to help you if you really want to sit down with me and get, have someone, to quite literally hold your hand through the journey. These sessions can be done on an ad hoc basis if you want to. Like, okay, Chris, I've got this big event coming up and I'm afraid I'm going to relapse, or I've got this one situation that keeps constantly fucking up my quit. Can I sit down with you for an hour and just do this? Absolutely, yes, you can. However, I do have this program that I can use with you now where we do one session before your quit to help you set a quit date and plan your journey out and help you get everything you need to quit. The next session is on your quit date itself. We'll agree a quit date. I will make sure I am there. We'll have that hour together to launch you headlong into your quit. After that, it is up to you. I'm going to recommend 2 sessions, but you may only want 1 to help you navigate those first couple of days and those first couple of weeks when the quit smoking process is its toughest. And finally, I would like to have 1 more session with you when it's like a month, 6 weeks down the line, to check in on how you're doing, and give you any final support that you may need for dealing with your life as a non-smoker. I have tried to make all these sessions as affordable as possible. I have priced them at far less than the cost of, if you smoke 20 cigarettes a day, 1 week, a session for 1 hour costs less than a week's worth of cigarettes, like by a lot. If you are interested in working with me in any capacity, or even if you'd like to work with me as a hypnotherapist, you can email me at chris@cjstherapy.com and we'll get that sorted out. In fact, in the next video that I'm going to make, I'm going to talk a little bit more about these sessions and what they involve, just so you can get a bit more information. So if you'd like to hold off until the next video, that's fine too. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this has been helpful to you in some way. This is the point where I do normally plug the book, but I've been doing that for the whole video. It is available in print and ebook form from Amazon. If you have already read the book and you found it helpful, please consider heading to the Amazon page where you got it from and leaving me a small review to let me know. I can't express how much of a difference and how helpful that would be to me. There is, of course, our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/findingfreedom1, a wonderful community of people celebrating their successes, helping people through when times are tough. We would absolutely love for you to join us. Again, if you'd like those one-to-one sessions or any of the downloads or anything like that, you can email me at chris@cjstherapy.com. The next live stream is the end of October. I think it's like the 30th of October. I'll sort that out soon. There was something else I was going to tell you and I absolutely cannot remember what it was. So with that in mind, I will say just once again, thank you so much for watching. Nevi, I hope that answered your question. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.